Hey guys, Warren Phillips here, Inogenics Wellness, and my daughter Tula asked for some eggs. And the age-old question in the non-toxic wellness movement is, which pan do I use? It's very confusing. I want to clear up some of the air on what is toxic, what is not, what you got to worry about and what you don't, and how to even cook a really good egg for your daughter. What do you want today? Do you want over easy? Yeah, she wants some over easy eggs, so we're going to do that. Hey Arela, it's my two daughters. So anyway, just got this new Xtrema 10-inch skillet. Got this as a tester for Inogenics Wellness and want to try that out today. I want to really talk about this and use this today, but we also have the big question, do I use cast iron? This is a well-seasoned cast iron pan. It's almost stickless. I mean, it's an amazing pan for us, but there is some concerns here, and we'll talk about that. And also stainless steel, another great choice. A little bit of concerns here as well. This one happens to be an 1810 stainless steel. What that means is it's 18% chromium, 10% nickel, and nickel is toxic. Your body can't use it. It builds up. It's one of the RCRA hazardous metals. For my hazardous waste background, nickel is not good for you, but when you're just cooking in it, you're not really scratching it, you're not getting that nickel into your body. So you need to be careful when you're using this, or get an 18-0 stainless, which means it'll be 18% chromium, 0% nickel. Actually, it's 0.75%, they say. But those ones are typically less shiny, a little less corrosion resistant, because the nickel adds some corrosion resistance in some of the shininess that you see. However, you got to be careful when using stainless as well. Now let's get to, out of the three, honestly the most non-toxic pan that I could find on the market today that I'm testing right here with Inogenics Wellness is the Xtrema. These are 100% ceramic, lead-free, non-toxic, do not add anything to your food. They're great, they cook well, but they're not quite as good as we'll see for non-stick. I love this, which is the cast iron pan. However, when you're cooking in cast iron, it is true, there is inorganic iron that gets into the food a little bit. A well-seasoned pan, studies show, less iron into the food. However, they do put inorganic iron into the food at times at low levels. And if it's a brand new one and not well seasoned, at higher levels, studies show. What happens with inorganic iron is it doesn't break down. Your body can't use it. It can use organic iron, but not inorganic iron. And inorganic iron will take over some binding sites, build up in your body, can cause liver and kidney issues, some things like that. So if you're doing that all the time, probably not the best to use for everyday use. So out of the three, if I was going to say from least toxic to most toxic, it would be least toxic, then the stainless, and then the most toxic of the three. And of course, I'm not even going to mention Teflon, because that's just, all of you watching this know that those have been all thrown out. And there's some other non-stick ceramic options out there that are pretty good. So that's a little of the data on the three different pans. You know that the chromium and nickel content is something you need to look out for. 18-0 is what I prefer, but sometimes a few of my pans are 18-10, hard to find. And if you're going to be using a well-seasoned cast iron skillet like this, just use it sparingly. And it does have great flavor. I know, don't want to get rid of your cast iron. We're not getting rid of ours, we just use it sparingly. So now we have the topic of today that we're testing, the Xtrema 10-inch skillet. And we can do another video on this later, is the Xtrema 3.5 quart, I believe. Whoop, 2.5 quart. Oh, we had a little accident. It's always good for a laugh in the video. So can't flip this over. 2.5 quart Asian teapot, and it's also completely non-toxic. Can I wipe this up real quick? Just hold on. It's a little more water than I expected. Always fun here at the Phillips household. All right, so how to use this pot and cook an egg on it. One thing you gotta do, and remember, we're cooking these for Tula, is we don't wanna burn the butter. I love to cook in butter. It can take a little higher heat than most things, not as much as like a coconut oil, but if the butter's brown, it's bad. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna make sure the butter stays yellow. And I use a lot of butter when I'm cooking. everybody knows how to coat a pan with butter. The main thing here is not put your heat up too high when you're cooking, so the butter turns brown and goes bad on you, and it turns from a good fat to a bad fat. The butter here, let's jump into the refrigerator right here. The butter that we're using, there's lots of good options out there, even locally made grass-fed butters, but in a pinch we buy this from Whole Foods, the cultured grass-fed butter by Organic Valley. Obviously grass-fed butter, higher vitamin A, vitamin K, much healthier fat. A lot of people use Kerrygold. The rumor is that about 3% of the corn that the Kerrygold cows eat from Ireland are GMO, so we stay away from that. If you want to come up here, let's see. Tula's gonna come up and help me do some eggs. If you see her, she's one of the highlights in all my videos because we do love family here at InnoGenics Wellness. Tula works out with us as a family. So here we go. The butter starts to bubble a little bit. That's about where we want it. The heat's right. And what I've learned on this skillet is after you cook for a little bit, you're going to want to turn the heat off because this thing does hold a lot of heat. Here we go. I'm going to do these one-handed. Hopefully there's no... That one's a good one. For those of you who know how to cook eggs, you can stop watching the video now, but if you want to see how I do them, just stick with me for about another couple minutes. And Tula's going to have 3 eggs today. Oh, I broke a yolk. It's okay though, right, Toots? Yeah. Daddy, that's fun. What I like to do when I'm cooking eggs, make sure the butter stays on there. Don't move the butter around, and just throw the lid on it for just a few minutes, just to add some heat. Cook the top of the eggs a little more quickly. Now this is the Xtrema Pan. Not quite as non-stick as my cast iron. The cast iron's pretty non-stick all the way around at this point because it's a really well-seasoned pan that we've used for years. The stainless steel, we cook eggs in that, especially for omelets. A smaller one like this is really great because you can coat this with a lot of butter, drop your eggs or your scrambled eggs right on it, and it'll pretty much non-stick if you keep the temperature right. So I was talking to my wife who's shooting this video. She said that the main thing, and she's a better cook than I am, but I know how to cook eggs. You know, I'd hope the guys out there can at least cook eggs. Is each of these pans use heat a little bit differently, heat up a little bit differently, so they all cook a little differently, and they even add flavors a little bit differently. This is pretty much flavorless, and it cooks really well, but it holds the heat, so you got to be careful and turn the heat down towards the end. Very similar to the cast iron. The cast iron can definitely get really hot in the middle and doesn't distribute the heat as well. The ceramic distributes the heat a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna put you down. Go sit down. We're gonna have your eggs here in 1 minute. Same thing with your utensils. 18, this is probably 1810 stainless or 18.8 stainless. The shinier one like this was a gift from a friend. When they're shiny like this, you can definitely say this is gonna be 1810. The shininess is usually the high nickel content. So here's the eggs you can see. Bring the camera over here. Pretty much non-stick on the Xtrema cookware, so I'm glad I tested it. Glad we have it in our house. It's really good. So all I'm gonna do real fast is do an over easy for Tula. Might not want to watch this because I'm not the best at flipping. I'm gonna let them sit there for just about another 30 seconds. And then what I use for Tula, for her plates, unbreakable stainless steel, probably 18.8 or 1810 stainless, but again, we're not scratching too much on this. Usually has a bamboo fork, which is great for your kids as well. Bamboo forks and knives. But at some point, you know they're gonna get a little bit of nickel exposure, so I'll probably give her, because she's bigger now, a full-size one. These are actually 18-0, this stainless steel. And we found that. I don't know where we found this, babe. I'm not sure. It might have been just somewhere local, but these eggs are getting overcooked because you don't want to cook eggs too much because it takes a lot of the nutrients out. So I try to cook it as least as possible for my family. All right, come here and get a shot of this plate in here. You can see, gotta turn that heat off. I should have turned off a little sooner, but ceramic, pretty much non-stick. So this is a great video. I think that you'll see, put some of the myths to bed when it comes to what you should cook with. But again, after all my research, everything that I've done, this is gonna be your most non-toxic, which is the ceramic. Xtrema is a good, clean brand, and I think you're gonna really enjoy using one of these pots. I don't get anything for it. I don't have any affiliates with them, but I just, gave them a call and I wanted to test some of their pots. They usually have a lot of discounts, up to 25% off. You might want to grab one and test one for yourself. Have a great deal. Have a great deal. Have a great day, and just have a great holiday if you're watching this during the holidays. Merry Christmas. God bless.